What's up guys, this is Jim to the Slim, and today I'm going to be reviewing LEGO Star Wars set number 75314, the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle, featuring 969 pieces and technically 5 minifigures, although they list the Gnk droid as another minifigure. This set retails in the US for $100. Taking a look at the front, we have that white greebling up at the top. We also, for the first time ever, have 3 of the most iconic Bad Batch members up in that upper right hand corner. And then we have this nice artwork of the strangely colored sand blue attack shuttle, which doesn't seem to represent the actual source material, but looks good nonetheless. And hey, it beats the heck out of another light or dark gray ship in the LEGO Star Wars realm. It is accompanied by the 2 speeder bikes with Crosshair chasing Tech, which is reminiscent of the scene on the Twi'lek planet. Not sure how accurate that is to the actual source material, since it's been a while since I actually watched the show. But looking at the top, we have the actual life-size Hunter on top. On the left-hand side, we have a bit of a side box art. It's barely cut off. Nothing too big going on there. They didn't leave themselves a lot of space to work with. But on the back here, we have most of the features on the set. We have some interior views that shows you how the cockpit opens up. It also shows you most of the characters without their helmets on, which is pretty cool. But without further ado, let's open this bad boy on up. Having cut 2 of the pieces of the tape on the side, we can open her on up. We see that box art continued on this inner flap, which looks very nice, and the little color gradient. Not sure why they always do that, but we can pour our contents out. We have our nicely packaged instructional manual along with the sticker sheet. We have a lot of bags, not going to count off the numbers, but we definitely have at least 7. Looks like about 7, don't it? Alrighty, there we have it, our completed Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. And one thing you'll notice is, this is the complete set. One thing I feel like is they could have included a stand, because I think it looks better in its unfolded position with the wings folded down. So what I did is I went ahead, took the liberty of making my own stand with some old parts and some little extra bits I had from my newer sets. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like on top of that. I actually realized there was a flaw in my design where I had to leave some open space between the front and the 2 front and the rear little tower bits, which makes it a bit flimsy, but this is what I came up with. And honestly, from this, it looks like I don't even have the wings folded as far down as ideally they should be, but I think it looks a lot better like this than it did in landed position. But before we take a look at the shuttle and the 2 little speeders, let's take a look at the minifigures. Alright, first up we have Gnk, the Gnk Power Droid, who is seen in the Bad Batch. Interestingly enough, he looks more tan in source material, and for whatever reason, in this iteration, he has a different design than the one that came with the ITS Rebel transport. Next up, we have Hunter, who, contrary to what's shown on the box, he does come with both of his blades and his own custom Clone Trooper helmet as well, which if you remove it, you can see he has an angry face, which is actually a secondary face, as well as a more calm, serious face. He also comes with a hair piece, so he can go full-on Rambo mode, depending on your preference. Next up, we have Tech, who comes with his dual blasters, and as you can see on all these figures, they have a lot of printing, mostly on the front. He also has a back print that's hidden by this pack with the antenna and the printed 1x1 tile. Removing his hairpiece that's reminiscent of Bill Murray for whatever reason. He has this inquisitive face as well as his face with the goggles. Removing his backpack reveals a standard back of Clone Trooper armor type of look. Now, for whatever reason, he did not get the shiny metallic colors that the rest of the Bad Batch did. Looking at source material, that's not really warranted in my opinion, because he does look fairly similar to them with slightly lighter armor, but it would be great if it was as reflective as the rest of the armors. He also comes with his awkwardly oversized, cool looking dual molded helmet. It's just unfortunate that it looks so ridiculously large on him compared to every other Phase 2 clone trooper helmet we've seen. Next up in our ragtag band of heroes, we have Echo, who thankfully does have that metallic sheen to his entire armor. Cool looking backpack printed on the back as well. He comes with but a single blaster, 2 different colored hands, because I do believe he has one mechanical arm, which is represented by the arm printing on the single arm over there, which is noticeably absent from that arm. Would probably be better if they had just given full arm printing to all of the Bad Batch members, but removing his custom helmet, he's the only lighter colored member of the Bad Batch, so they got that right. He does also have a lot of machinery built into him. Next up, we have Wrecker, of course, using that pauldron piece they like to use for the larger minifigures, larger characters. They also used Iron Man's helmet instead of the standard Clone Trooper Phase 2 helmet. Removing his helmet, we can see but a single face. He has a lot of those white scars, similar to the newer Boba Fett minifigure. And of course, his one good eye and his one damaged eye. Removing his head, we can also remove his pauldron and take a look at him without it. He has a detailed print on the front and the back, although most of the time you're probably just going to want to have him wear his full armor. He does look better with it. Last but not least, we have our Traitor, or our only non-Traitor, depending on your perspective, Crosshair. He's got a lot of great detailed printing on the front, printing on the back as well. He's got his long sniper rifle, of course, because this is Crosshair. He's our sharpshooter. Underneath, he only has one face. This face does seem to get the job done, though, because he is the one clone who does not remove his helmet in this crew. Additionally, in my personal opinion, while this is a fine-looking minifigure, I do believe he did look a little cooler in the show when he got this blacked out armor. Like, it looks very good, but it's as good as it's gonna get in Lego, but I believe, obviously maybe an action figure of him would look cooler, but I think Lego did the best they could in this instance. The next part of this build we're going to take a look at is this speeder, which basically was a slight recolor from the one including the 501st Battle Pack. It has some fair amount of details, an unfortunate amount of stickers. Like, I wish they could have just printed that piece, but for whatever reason they decided stickers were the better option. I like these little vent pieces on the side, and these clips, obviously you can hold your weapons, you can hold your additional spring-loaded shooter ammo. In the front we've got these ski pieces that aren't used as landing gear in this instance, they're just used to add a bit of detail in the front. We got Nexonite shield under another sticker that I had an issue applying properly. And we also have a couple of stud shooters on the front, which look not too bad. That's what the bottom looks like. Next up, we have this speeder, which is shown to be Tech's speeder. It has some more sticker details, as you can see. It looks like it has the little engine head towards the front. Pretty cool design. Only one clip, which is interesting because he has 2 blasters. Meanwhile, the guy who has one sniper rifle got the bike with 2 clips, because logic, yeah. Pretty cool little detailed speeder with an interesting color choice. And last but not least, we have our titular Bad Batch Attack Shuttle, which for being miscolored, looks very, very cool. Honestly, I think this color looks better than the dark gray we see in the show. But moving on from the color scheme, which honestly, I just believed adds so much aesthetic value, we can just get a look at the entire model. And then let's go ahead and spin her about. Take a look at the sides. Love the snot techniques on top. You know, you've got barely any stud showing at all. Just a smooth, clean look. Some stickers around the engine shutters. You can actually close these. Not sure if you're supposed to. I think they're actually kind of brakes of some sort in case they need to brake suddenly. But they look cool either way. We've got some guns in the back, which are a bit difficult to see in my lighting, I apologize. As well as one red light, a little tail light, because that's all your opponents are going to be saying when you're in this shuttle. A tail light. Mopar, baby. But let's go ahead and move on. This cockpit piece is thankfully printed. Thank God this was printed, because I wouldn't put it past Lego to cheap out and put more stickers on a piece like this. Let's go ahead and take her off of the stand. Once again, there she is in her landed position. I'm going to move one of the wings down so we can go ahead and take a look at the interior, which, interestingly enough, all you have to do is pull on this, which is kind of annoying because shuttles usually, especially the latest Imperial shuttle, for instance, the fin is a handle, but here it just opens the entire top of the model, and then that just loosely fits into place. You can simply open the cockpit piece, although with the way the fin is, you get little to no access to the cockpit, so you can go ahead and just open her up all the way. And as for that interior, the cockpit is about what you might expect from a shuttle of this size at this scale. You know, you've got 2 seats, which easily fit 2 of your Bad Batch clone troopers in there. You have this printed control panel that we've seen many times before. You've got some of those vented slopes that just always add beautiful detail to whatever model they're on. Moving to the back, you have just this completely structural section, but over here, first of all, you have 2 seats where you can have your Bad Batch members facing each other. And go ahead and just pop one of them in there for now. Obviously, they can't really hold their weapons because they will just be snugly in there facing each other. Over here, we have a couple of sticker pieces. This looks to be one of the Bad Batch members, although it's a Phase 1 helmet, interestingly enough. Over here, we have what appears to be a Venator squaring off with possibly a Separatist ship. And then up towards the front of the cabin, we have a storage area. Now this opens up like this. In here, it's a little removable container. I keep their hair pieces in there. Where else are they going to be when they're wearing their helmets if they're inside? Now this is a bit of wasted space in my opinion, because you really don't need that cargo thing in there. I mean, if it wasn't for this, you might be able to fit Gonky in there, but these Gnk droids are just awkwardly large for what they should be. Honestly, they should roughly be the dimensions of a standard in real life trash can. You know, they should probably be 2x2, but due to the limitations of the way they make them 2x3, which just makes them a pain. And they never seem to fit into the sets they come with. So final thoughts on this set. Obviously, like I said, the color scheme is completely different from what we seem to see in the show. But with that aside, it's a very beautiful model. And obviously it doesn't come with my little stand I made here, but you know, that was easy for me to make with this old base plate, just some old tile pieces and these window pieces I got from a pick-a-brick wall at the Lego store. The shuttle itself is cool, you know, it would be nice to have a bit more interior space. Or, you know, if instead of including Gonky, or in addition to including Gonky, they had included Omega, she would have fit in the shuttle easily. So it's unfortunate that they decided not to do that. It is pretty awesome that they threw in these 2 speeders, so you can have a bit more of an action scene. You can have these 3 Bad Batch members trying to assist Tech as he is pursued by their former compatriot Crosshair. Post-filming edit. This is kind of interesting that they use these 1x1 chi slopes and they didn't just use a bunch of 1x2 chi slopes when mathematically it would have worked. Maybe they were just trying to add more texture to this portion of the build. Playability wise, it's going to get maybe an 8 out of 10. And here's why. You cannot lift the model like this. You need to lift it either like this, which who's going to play with it like that, or grab it somewhere around the back. But when you do that, you tend to accidentally fire off these spring-loaded shooters, which, you know, can be pretty annoying, especially if you're pointing somewhere and you manage to lose one. That's not the best feeling in the world. But those gripes aside, you know, you can't really fly it around as easily as one might want to. Playability-wise, the play features are there. You know, it's got spring-loaded shooters on the shuttle, stud shooters on this speeder, and, you know, Tech is just kind of SOL. He's just got to use his blasters or whatever. Design-wise, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because the inaccurate color scheme aside, it is a very cool-looking model, you know. They could have just had... I guess they could have just had any set with the Bad Batch, but not really. They did really need one iconic and large enough, like the shuttle. So it's cool that we get 5 of the Bad Batch members, you know, one being a former Bad Batch member, in one set, along with Gonky, who I guess it makes sense to include him in the set because where else is he ever at in the show other than on the shuttle? Value-wise, this set will set you back $100 at retail price. And again, if you're going to go grab it at retail, as usual, I'm going to be throwing that affiliate link down in the subscription. You pay nothing extra, ships to your house, and in addition to that, you'll be helping support this channel, which is always much appreciated. That being said, I personally bought this on double VI points weekend, so I was able to get the Jane Goodall set along with this, as well as the Hoth ATST, so it was very, very satisfying, you know. I'd been trying to add this to my collection for a year, never really caught it on sale, and what better way to do that than if you're not going to get a discount, at least get the greatest reward you can for it, am I right? Going back to playability, the wings do fold, which is cool. You know, displayability, you know, it's surprisingly displayable. You do have to build your own stand, like I said, and even then, I don't even think I have the wings folded down as far as they are on the box art, but I like the way it looks in my display case. But speaking of which, let's get it on over there. I'll show you guys how it does look. So this is how that shuttle looks in my display case, which, you know, you can also just display it in a slanted position, but then that obscures the body of the ship. So I like the way it stands out when in its flight mode. And obviously it does take up a fair amount of space in a china cabinet, but for the Bad Batch, I think it's worth it because, personal opinion again, I think the Bad Batch looks really cool because they have just these 5 unique clone troopers, and it's a very satisfying piece to have in your collection. You know, some people like to build a clone trooper army, whereas, you know, in this instance we have 5 unique looking clone troopers who are their own unique characters. Everyone has a preference, right? But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think of the set. Always slide down, like, comment, subscribe, hit that affiliate link if you are inclined to buy the set now. But let me know in the comments, how do you guys like the set? Have you picked it up? Are you looking forward to pick it up? Have I changed your mind if you're on the fence about this? As always, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. But with all that being said, this is Jim to the Slim, signing out.